sometimes don't you just want to have an existential conversation with a stranger about the meaning of life and humanity? I think that's the right way to use existential. And if it's not, it should be, because I like that word. If you do have a existential conversation about life and humanity, I would not recommend doing it at a Kwik Trip on a Saturday morning. And I know that because this past Saturday, I went into Kwik Trip, which is our, in this area, it's a very popular gas station convenience store. And I went in to buy an energy bar, and I saw onions, and I thought, oh, I need onions. These are good onions. They're sweet onions. I like them. So I got a couple and didn't have a cart and didn't have a bag. And they're messy, onions. The skins come off. So I went up and I put them in front of the checkout lady, and I said, boy, onions, as another bit of onion peel skin fell onto the countertop. I said, onions can be difficult, can't they? And she said, yes, they can make you cry like people. And I thought, oh, yes. And even though that hadn't been what I was going for, I thought, this woman understands. And so then I started to explain, like, that's true, because I wanted to support her view, but also they can be difficult to get to know, but then the peels start to come away and you get to know the delightful fragrance and how they can just make life better underneath all that messiness. And then I think I was going to quote Shrek with ogres being like onions and having layers, but then I realized that I could see the whites of her eyes. And she kept looking beseechingly past me, and I turned around and there were people behind me lined up looking kind of pityingly at her. And so I humbly swiped my debit card and thanked her, and she thanked me and told me to come again really soon and have a nice day really fast, just like that, and moved me on my way. So if you want to have an existential conversation, if I'm using the word the right way, let me know, because I'm happy to do it. I wouldn't recommend doing it in line at Kwik Trip on a Saturday morning. Oh, Friday. Friday's November 1st, and my Christmas novella is coming out, and here's the cover. See, it's The Lady with the Alligator Case by Anita Klumpers. She packed Christmas sweaters. Her suitcase packed a wallop. It's a little suspense, teeny bit of romance. It's kind of fun. It's only available as an e-reader on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, other places. I'll put a link in on my website and then the YouTube channel if I'm allowed to do that. But I think it'll be fun, and it's not very expensive, $4.99. It's doable. This is the second time I'm doing this video, because yesterday, so I wanted to just be off the cuff, because I work really hard at making them natural. And that's kind of a contradiction in terms, because it can't be really natural if you're working hard at it. But I just don't practice. And I had it yesterday, and then my phone rang, and it was my husband to say he'd gotten a puncture wound and was spurting blood all over the place. But by the time he called, everything was fine, and he wasn't in any danger, and the blood was cleaned up. Well, I had to clean the rest of it off his pants last night, but anyway, the phone kept ringing. You just can't do that on a YouTube video. It just seemed a little overly dramatic, but he is fine. So, and I think this is the last thing I wanted to do. I was told that if you're going to do a YouTube video, you should give people something of value. And I don't have much, and I don't have many skills, but I do have a joke. That it's a family joke. And by family joke, I mean I'm the only one who tells it. It's kind of potty humor, but bear with me. And if you're under 60 if you've never heard of the show Gomer Pyle, Gomer was kind of a good-hearted guy who was in the army in the 60s. So here's the joke. What's brown and sits in an army barracks? Gomer's pile. What's brown and sits on a piano bench? Beethoven's Last Movement. What's brown and sits in the forest? Winnie's Pooh. That's pretty funny, isn't it? And because nobody ever laughs at my jokes, I have him. He's not done yet. Now he's done.